What would you do if a person booked an appointment with you, but just doesn't show up? A few weeks ago, I ran into an argument with our marketing strategist about lead no-shows. He told me that it's nearly impossible to automate no-shows because there's always a manual element to it. This means that you have to manually go into your CRM system, tag the lead from a dropdown so that you can run any kind of automations after it. This works, but I couldn't accept it. I really couldn't accept the fact that something so basic is not meant to be automated. So I decided to prove him wrong. I went on a journey to find a way on fully automating this no-show process so that I can tag them automatically without any human intervention. And while this process really seemed impossible, I managed to pull it off thanks to my brainpower and AI. But I didn't only automate it, I opened doors to solve problems that I didn't even have on my radar before. So in today's video, I'm going to show you the insanely concept on how you can fully automate no-show taggings and beyond. And not only that, I will also provide you all the resources that you need to replicate the system on your end completely for free. This includes the complete automations on how you really fully automate the no-show tagging, as well as how a no-show actually occurs, whether that's from the lead side or from my closer side. And additionally, I'll also provide you with extra insights on how you can handle edge cases that you probably never thought of before. If you leverage this alone, you can recover tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars for your company. And if you don't know who I am, my name is Yannis Moore and we run a six-figure agency that builds voice AI agents for enterprises and publicly traded companies. And because we have more demand that we can handle ourselves, we have an educational program where we help people to leverage voice AI technology to gather more freedom or unlock additional revenue. Now, I just want to emphasize that everything you see in this video, you will get access completely for free in the description below. I highly recommend downloading the templates and following me along the screen because there's quite a bit that we want to cover. Now, what you can see on my screen right here is the brain of this whole setup itself. We built everything of that inside of N8N, a workflow automation tool, and it's incredibly easy to adjust, meaning that you don't need to have any coding knowledge and you don't really need to understand code either. Everything will be predefined so you can literally just follow me along on the screen and adjust it depending on your specific CRM setup. Now, before diving into the automation itself, I have a little list here of things that I want to go over, which is the tools that you actually need to make this work. First of all, you can imagine that you obviously need a calendar because without a calendar, you don't have appointments, so you can't have no-shows in the first place. This setup supports Google Calendars, Outlook, and the Office 365. This is limited by what we are using here for creating this whole no-show setup itself, which is using Fireflies. And if you've never heard of Fireflies, it's basically a note taker. You'll find the link for this one and for all the other tools inside the description as well. So Fireflies has different pricing plans, and all it does is it basically records your meetings while you're in the meeting, which also accounts for your team. And your team may be closers, it may be yourself, but this is what enables us to make all of this work. Then you obviously need N8N, which is our workflow automation tool because it's incredibly flexible and the automations we build are really powerful. Then you also need an OpenAI API key or any equivalent LLM that allows you to do chat completions. This is also a big part of why all of this works, and I'll show you exactly how to configure this as well. Then you also need a CRM system or a database where you track those leads in the first place so that you can track their status. And lastly, and this is optional whether or not you want it, I highly recommend though doing something like this, is a Slack integration so that you can get notification in case something fails or that you get informed that there was actually a no-show. Because obviously you as a business owner, you want to know how many no-shows you really had, which is obviously way better than relying on your closers or whoever works on your team and tries to manually tag them, because this brings a way higher accuracy. Now, all of this said, let's dive right into the big scenario. And you can see here, it is quite massive. And I've highlighted a couple of sections so that it's easier for you to digest and you don't get overwhelmed with all of those nodes in here. But trust me, you don't need to adjust the majority of them. It really depends on your specific use case. And this one, by the way, is built for GoHighLevel. We are using GoHighLevel as a CRM system, which means this thing works straight out of the box for GoHighLevel. You just need to adjust your own webhook URLs, etc. But it's very straightforward. Now, how does this whole system itself work? And I'm just going to give you a high-level overview. Since we are using a Fireflies note taker, this note taker is basically recording and transcribing meetings. So you have to imagine that if you are, for example, the person who is in a meeting, it can transcribe the meeting that you are attending. So let's say you join a meeting with a client and you're in the same meeting room, but the client just doesn't join. You're waiting there until you probably notice that the client won't come anymore. So you leave the appointment and then you would go into a calendar or the contact and you mark that as no-show. Now, this is the usual process, and this is what we use Fireflies for to determine it as well, because here we have a couple of rules which basically triggers on Fireflies itself. So after a meeting was successfully completed, we get informed by Fireflies, so by our note taker, which then we're gonna take the Fireflies transcript. So this is literally everything that we have about the meeting. We validate it, we try to estimate and figure out whether or not there was a no-show. So we check for various things, and this is the part that gets really complex. This is where we check things like who attended, how many people attended, did they actually attend, or was it just the closer, or was it just the closer and AI bots? You never really know. There are tons of edge cases that come into play here. And all of this is basically handled in these kind of parts right here to determine whether or not someone no-showed and how they no-showed. Then from here, we basically update statuses, or we fetch statuses from within our CRM systems. So the getter itself, so this whole section is basically something that you can replace if you have a different CRM system. But just to give you a gist on how that works, we have here a get contact, so we basically fetch the contact from our CRM system if we can identify it, which most likely is the case because they set up a meeting, so they should be in there in the first place. Then if we can't find them, we trigger a notification to our Slack channel for us to check, hey, look, there's an appointment, we couldn't really identify it. Please look into it and check what's going on. And this again helps us to refine the whole system itself. Then when we find them, we can get the appointment, so we can make a reference from that actual appointment back to that contact that we have. We validate a couple of things, and from there, for example, in our case, we get a closer because we have closers that basically help us to close people on meetings. So we fetch them and we add all of this to a specific field. And then this is here where the magic happens. You can see here we have 4 different elements, and these are kind of the core output paths that I can recommend you to look into. Number 1 is showed, meaning that the lead and the closer, or in your case maybe you, showed up to the meeting and you had a successful conversation. Then lead no-show means that the lead didn't show up, and closer no-show means that the closer didn't show up. So in case your lead was there and the closer wasn't, this is obviously a very, very bad scenario because it's always bad for your reputation in the company. So this is something to watch out for, which I believe adds incredible value alone. And lastly, we have obviously an uncertain one because all of this is new and this thing is already proven for us, but we never know the unknown unknowns, right? Which is exactly why we have a fallback right in here. And most of them, as you can see, they just report back to Slack so we can see what happens, and we get informed as well as our closer that there was a no-show. If this one happens, this goes to our admin channel and we can look into why that closer didn't show up, why they didn't perform on this appointment, etc. So we can really dig in deep on why people don't show up. And these ones right here is the setters. And this is the important part. This is basically where the magic of the automated tagging happens. Because we now identified everything prior, whether or not a person showed up to the appointment, we can also tag this inside of our CRM system. Again, in our case, we are using GoHighLevel. So if someone showed, we can mark them as showed, and we can trigger showed automations as well if we want to. Or we can even trigger them on a no-show, which means that we can automatically tag them as no-show if they don't show up. And with this whole setup, we currently have 100% accuracy. Think about it, 100% accuracy, meaning that everything that happens within this no-show was always accurate as of now. And this is incredible for me because it just tells us that you can definitely fully automate no-show tagging. Something that Google always tells you is not possible. And even if you use more advanced AI, they will show you solutions, but they're really incredibly complex. But it doesn't have to be this way because there are already so many tools out there that allow you to do this fairly easily. Now, this is the whole structure, and I hope you have now a mental picture on how this whole thing looks like and what it does. And to guide you over on the things that you actually need to adjust to make it work for your specific use case, I'm going to show you a couple of settings. And the most important ones are here in green, the general settings. So if you click on this node or you double click it, you will be able to see a couple of fields in here that you can statically fill. And they depend on your specific use case. And we've done that in 2 specific ways to identify certain people. So let's, for example, say you have an appointment with a closer and with a single lead. Probably the easiest and best possible use case. In this case, you obviously want to identify who is the closer and who is the lead. The issue is that leads may join with a different email address to the appointment that they initially booked. This is actually a very common thing. You may have not thought about this, but it's actually really common. So what we do is we have a company and a domain whitelist. So a domain and an email whitelist, meaning that we identify who from our company is actually joining the meeting, which means that everything else that has an email is what we consider the client. And we have here, for example, the possibility of adding multiple emails and multiple domains, meaning that if a specific email is specified here, you can make sure that this email, let's for example say it's from a closer, it's actually determined as an email that is from your company internally. And then if you want to have a more wildcard approach, you can take the domains, meaning that if you have a domain that all your closers use, including you can just specify the domain here, which then validates every person that joins this meeting from the domain is considered internal. And then lastly, we have another setting right here, which is the appointment whitelist. And this, in this specific scenario, only accepts a single entry. This depends again on your setup and how many different names you have, but you obviously need to have an identifier which of those appointments is actually the appointment that you would like to track. Because as you know, with Fireflies, for example, if you install Fireflies on your system, it joins every single meeting, even if it's not yours. So you most likely don't want to track meetings that are not even related to your services. And for that, we have this appointment whitelist, meaning that if you have a specific naming convention, which we probably have for your appointments, whether or not there's discovery call or strategy call or whatever your domain name or whatever your company name strategy call is, this is what you define in here. And this is what validates. Meaning that you have here this if-else statement, which just checks whether or not this appointment that is currently coming in, so where Fireflies was tracking the appointment, is actually the appointment that you want to have tracked in the first place, and then it routes it through if it does, if it is actually the right meeting. So this is the whole magic behind the settings itself. You can just add a whitelist to identify internal people, so your team, and you can identify the actual appointment. And from there, we just fetch the appointment via the API. This is something you gotta set up in here as well. So when you click on here, you can set up a bearer authentication as an auth type with your actual authentication setup. Now in my case, it says Taliforms here, which is not correct because I haven't connected it. So in your case, it would look something like this. You would have a bearer auth that you can add with the Fireflies credentials, which are the API credentials you find inside of your Fireflies dashboard. By the way, you want to upgrade to probably a paid version just because you can get recordings and video recordings, which was really important for us because we not only just track whether or not they no-showed, we also track the whole transcripts, which is also appended to our context itself. So we can also extract additional information, how qualified the person is, etc. And we tag them inside of the lead system. Really, really powerful. Now, once you've done that, you don't need to adjust anything else in here. That's literally it. Then we move over here to the attendee extractor. This stuff you don't really need to care about. It's all code, but you don't need to touch it. What it does is it basically just identifies from those meetings two things, the external attendees and the internal attendees. External attendees is most likely going to be the lead that is joining the appointment, and your internal attendees are your closers or yourself or whoever else joins from your company. Now keep in mind that if you bring in multiple AI note takers, which is very possible, this would also trigger and may not fully work, right? Which is exactly why we have some more fallbacks afterwards. So let's, for example, say your closer joins an appointment, but he lets in an AI note taker of a lead. It may be considered an external attendee. So this specific scenario would already trigger, even though the client or the lead probably didn't even attend. Only the note taker attended, which is a bit weird, but technology just is generally more on point and on time than we are. So for that, we have a really cool fallback right here, which is this whole section up here. Now, first of all, we have the no-show validations. And by the way, this is also mentioned here in these comments, so you can read through that, what it does. External attendees, internal attendees, it's just for your reference. Same here with no-show validations. No-show validations tracks a couple of things. It checks whether or not someone showed, they no-showed, or they're uncertain. This is basically on how we try to identify if someone showed or not. So this is a huge piece of code that you don't really need to understand. You just gotta trust me at this point that this works. And then you will basically get one of those outputs. We get either showed, no-show, or uncertain. And you may also get no-show party, which discloses who actually no-showed. Because it can be your lead, it can be your closer, or it can be something in between. We don't know. So if they showed, awesome. In this case, we still want to make sure we validate them. If they didn't show, we have a very high accuracy on saying they actually didn't show because we can easily track that. But because we have so many external aspects like the AI note takers that join, etc., we need to have extra validation. And this is where this AI node comes in. And this is one that you can replace by whatever model you use. But the gist of it is that it checks the actual transcript. So everything that was said inside of the meeting. And based on that, we determine if the person showed up or not. Now, there is a little bit of variability in it, but we found that it's incredibly accurate based on the system prompt that we have in here. I'm going to show you that as well. You will get access to all of this inside of the description anyway, but just imagine that it takes the transcript and it basically identifies whether or not the user had an actual conversation. And in this example that I saved here, you can even say that it says client name, and this is, by the way, something redacted for personal privacy information. The expected attendee participated extensively throughout the meeting, including asking questions. So it basically tells you that it worked. And we can see this on the confidence score as well. And the result, this is basically what we track for. So whenever that ran through, we just synchronize those variables, we consolidate them, and then it's already time to fetch stuff from our CRM system. Because obviously Fireflies relies on the integration that you use for your appointments. And in our case, we did this with Google Calendar. The structure, I would say, is very similar to the Outlook calendars or Microsoft calendars in general, because we basically identify things based on the title of the meeting. So in this case, we basically try to fetch the contact based on a couple of aspects. So in our case, for example, we try to determine the contact from the actual person who booked the appointment. And this is really crucial because the one who booked the appointment is already in the CRM system, so we have an always 100% accuracy on that, meaning that we just check the email that comes back from within the transcript. And this is a very interesting one because whenever you get the transcript from Fireflies, you have meeting attendants and you have meeting attendees. And the meeting attendees are basically the ones that are invited into the meeting, just like participants. So they should always match in best case. And you can see that here as well, that you would, for example, have your client email, and this is the one, or from the meeting attendees, I would always say go for the one that we determined from within the code node. And then based on this, we determine which contact it is and we fetch it. So if we don't find that contact, we just trigger an error message. We get notified about it. And if we find it, we then try to find the last appointment that this person booked. Because obviously, since it's an external meeting from a different platform, you most likely don't have a direct relation to what meeting this is if you don't track those IDs somehow separately or specifically with your CRM system. So in our case, we just fetch the latest appointment. We check whether or not the event title matches, because in our case, it may even be that they have multiple appointments booked. And based on this, we fetch the closer that is assigned to this meeting. We validate or consolidate the CRM fields, and then we already head into the major logic of determining the current status. And this is very easy. You can see here that initially we check for showed, no-show, and uncertain. And showed, obviously very straightforward. We can just tag them as showed or run extra automations on top of it. Uncertain, I would also say pretty straightforward. And no-show, we have an extra qualification or check because we check against lead no-shows and closer no-shows. Because if a lead no-shows, it's obviously what we want to tag inside of the CRM system. So in this case, this specific node is really just the core logic of tagging that person as no-show, which means we can run any kinds of automations from within our CRM system automatically without us ever touching it. And this one I highly recommend you build in if you already run a successful business and you have closers or a whole team that handles those kind of parts for you. This is going to be golden because it automates so much issues that really save you tons of time. And not just that, they also help you to recover a lot of more lost money in case the closers don't tag them themselves or just don't show up to the meetings. So this whole thing alone is really golden, and it's something I would say one of a kind. I don't think we have anything out there yet. And it was literally just because I wanted to prove our strategy is wrong, and I did it, we implemented it, and it works incredibly well. And to show you that it actually works, you can see here we are in our Slack channel. It's called Vibe Appointment Bot. And you can see here the appointments. You can also see that they are being tagged as lead no-show. We have the appointment times, we have the status, we have the appointment title. The closer here, unfortunately, was null because I had an issue in my automation when I ran it back then. That is fixed as well in the one that you will be able to download. And you have the lead emails. So you can literally just drag it properly, including some action buttons to your CRM system if you want to. In our case, it's GHL, so you may need to adjust it inside of Anyden if you want to adjust those settings specifically. Now, this is literally just a proof that this works and that you can fully automate no-shows, which is a massive game changer. And if you're like me, you're probably incredibly hyped now getting this implemented because this streamlines processes like crazy, because you don't rely on this extra human input anymore. Now that said, I really hope you get some value out of this tutorial. Like I say, all of those resources are in the description below. This is literally stuff I could easily sell for $5,000 or $10,000 because this ROI is massive for the people who have a team of closers. This is really, really massive. And obviously for anyone who has issues implementing that or wants some extra advice or extra help on that, you should definitely check out our community or reach out to me specifically. And that said, thank you very much for watching. I really hope you get value out of this. And as a last ask, please drop in the comments whether or not you already have closers employed in your company, and if so, how many. You're most welcome to flex on others. I'm perfectly fine with this. So go ahead and enjoy, and thanks for watching. See you in the next one.